Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Eleana, and today's episode is all about life updates, you guys. We've had some exciting things take place. Summer is a really busy time in our family. Couple of reflections for you all in what are the things that you're noticing? How is your awareness being heightened in the moment as things are taking place? I want to share those things with you. And we also have a really big announcement that I've been holding on to for a couple of weeks now, and it's been eating me alive. And so I cannot wait to share it with you. This is going to be a really fun episode, kind of peeling back the layers of, what's going on into our world over here, a lot of reflections, like I said, and how it all ties into this podcast and how you are applying the things that you are learning and absorbing into your everyday life, right? It's kind of like the concept when you go to church. The point of going to church is to learn something and then apply it to your life the other 6 days that you're not in church, right? And so that's what I've been, really reaping from this podcast. And I hope you are as well. And many others that you listen to, like myself. And, are you taking some notes? Are you taking mental notes or written notes? And are those things coming up for you as reminders in those moments of awareness? So I've had quite a few of those lately, and based on the guests that we've had, I've been able to apply it to all the different areas of our life, even our business, which I know we touch on business here in this podcast as well. And let me know if you want me to touch more on that. That's also part of this solo episode, is really diving into what are the things you have been really loving and want to hear more of, or that we're not touching on enough and you would like to hear more on that, whether it's motherhood, wellness, mindset. We do a lot of personal growth here, of course, and business. And then marriage, right? Marriage and relationships. We can't forget all about that. So to kick us off, life updates. Today's June 5th, right? The day I'm recording. We are in the first week of June, and whenever June hits, like all of my tickers start to go off. So a little bit of background. My birthday is at the end of August. And so summertime is that like initiation period of, my birthday's coming up. And I'm one of those people that really honors someone's birthday as their birthday month. It is a special, special time to honor that person, to celebrate yourself for your growth, what you have coming up ahead, and really tuning into that soul path of, are you in alignment with that? Are you happy with the friendships and the relationships you have? And becoming super aware of even previous people from your past trying to resurface, or situations reoccurring as perhaps lessons you have yet to learn and overcome. Are they showing up in different formats in your life? So I look at birthdays from a really unique perspective in our level of growth. And so with that, summer is that time of initiation until I met my husband. His birthday is in July. And so right when the summer now, ever since we've gotten together, since summer's come up, it's his birthday and then mine. But not only that, okay, we chose our wedding date in June. So now we have our wedding anniversary coming up in June. We got married last summer, so it's our first year anniversary, so that's pretty exciting. Then we have my husband's birthday in July. Our middle son's birthday is the end of July. We like to celebrate the day that we met. It's a fun day to remember the divine intervention on when our eyes crossed paths and the first handshake we had. So that's the beginning of August. And then, as God would have it, our son was born, the little one who's almost 2, mid-August. And then I'm at the very end now, the end of August. So summertime has become this thing now ever since meeting my husband, and our family has grown of like one thing after the other. So it's an exciting time. I try not to overwhelm myself with all the things. I've said, listen, we should just do like one big trip a year. And that becomes us celebrating all of the things. Because I'm much more of an experiential type of person than a gift person. I like experiencing things with my people than just receiving gifts. So that gives you a little insight on what we have coming up over here. All the while, well, before I get there, there's just so many fun things. This is actually a really special year for my birthday in particular because you guys, I'm a 94 baby, which means all of us 94 babies are turning 30 this year. Yeah, I'm turning 30 and I'm so ready. Like I'm so ready and I'm so excited and I'm embracing this new era in my life. That's coming and it is so exciting and it's very surreal at the same time because you go your whole life like trying to be older than what you are and waiting for your moment to like just already be an adult. And then when you're here, you're like, oh, can we just like make time slow down now? Can we just like slow things down? So it's an exciting period of time because these are my last few months in my 20s. And as someone who, likes to be in reflection, I'm really taking this time to honor all of the different seasons within my 20s. And I'm not going to get emotional, but I will say there will be an episode coming out dedicated to my top 20 lessons I learned in my 20s. That'll be coming out as the end of August approaches. So be on the lookout for that. But before then, we have lots of time. As you guys may or may not know, my husband and I started a business back in December of 2023. So we're 7 months into our business and we've had so much growth since then. It's been slow, steady growth. And what I love about our journey thus far is that it is really consistent and we're learning, how to wear all the hats and work together as a team. We also have a partner that I'm going to bring her on the show here very soon to share our story and her background and her journey as well. But it's been really, really cool to grow a business that, again, I knew nothing about. We have a junk removal business. So if you're familiar with 1-800-GOT-JUNK or, move and haul, stuff like that, we remove unwanted items, people that need to move and clear out storage units, someone who's buying and flipping a property and has to clean it out and then renovate it. All that stuff has to go somewhere. So we decided we're going to be those people that people call. And we have a crew, we have commercial vehicles. It's been quite interesting, learning all the ins and outs and everything that comes alongside of that particular business. And of course, putting on my sales and marketing hat and doing what I love to do, build relationships, go out and meet people strategically and form those partnerships, which I used to do in the other companies I worked with. And now I get to do for a company of my own, something that we're building and giving the people that we work with the opportunity to grow in their career and learn a new skill set, not just clock in and clock out for a paycheck. So all around, life has been really fulfilling lately. And I'll say this, it's not that I was lacking anything before my marriage, becoming a mom or a business owner or having a podcast. Yes, all of those things really add to the juiciness of life. And I'm sure if you are a mom or a wife or a business owner or have something of your own that you're really proud of or that has come into your life and has, grown you as a person and you're really happy to have that in your life, it obviously adds value. But even before those things, there's a time and a place for everything, but prior to these things taking place, I was happy. I was genuinely happy with where I was, but I also didn't have the right people in my life. And that added and took away at the same time from that alignment. It's all part of our journey and us learning who are our people and how to navigate the time that we spend with those people so that we can create our time that we need to go and engage with the people we want to engage with, right? And so lately I've been feeling so fulfilled and like not missing anything. You know, you can have all the things in the world and still feel like you're missing the boat. And for the first time in my life, I really feel so fulfilled. The people, the family I've created, the husband I have. I just feel so grateful to have dedicated myself to doing the work, to have this beautiful this beautiful life. And again, doesn't mean you do or don't have all the things. It's what do you feel inside? Are you aligned inside? And are you happy with yourself? Can you honestly look in the mirror and say, I'm happy with me? I love myself. If you can do that, that's it. You've won the game of life. That's what this life is all about. Are you happy? It's the single most important yet hardest thing for all of us to actually do and be. And that's the problem. There's nothing to do that's going to make you happy. It's about the being. And in the being, everything just starts to flow. And that is exactly what I've been focusing on this year, is being and surrendering. Motherhood has taught me that more than anything in my entire life. Surrendering, surrender. And it's just a beautiful place to be in. Now, again, I do have my moments where I catch myself and old habits come through, or old thought patterns may linger that are not true, or, you know, limiting beliefs may arise. And that's where you have your community and they step in. And if you're vulnerable enough to share those parts of you, you can get honest feedback and hear the reflection of, I can see where you're coming from, but that's not entirely true. Or that is perhaps stemming from something over here, blah, 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 right? But this is where the podcast has come into play and where it's added so much value into my life, because just like church, you got to stay plugged in, right? Just like a plant, it needs to be watered in order to grow. If not, it's going to stay the same, if not die, right? Die off. And so like us, we need to stay plugged in order for our soul to grow in the sense of thriving and flourishing and giving it what it needs so that it can give you what you need in return. If you starve your soul, you will die a slow death. If you starve your soul, you will die a slow death. And it doesn't take much to make your soul happy. It doesn't take much to make your soul dance or sing or play or laugh. It takes you taking a moment in time with yourself. And this is the part where people may say, oh, you know, me time is selfish time. It's actually the most giving thing you can do for yourself and others. Because if you believe that your happiness relies solely on you and it's not somebody else's responsibility to make you happy, and you want to show up in your fullness with the greatest energy that you know you can have and possess within, you have to cultivate it. How do you get that out of you? Like when you pour water in a flower, the flower opens. You want your flower to be open around the people you love most, don't you? Even for yourself, right? So you have to learn what those things are that are going to open your flower, and the things that inherently close your flower, that close you off, that shut you down, where you feel silenced, right? So one of the things that I love doing that just makes my heart sing and dance is going for walks, getting myself a smoothie. Just like a little day date with yourself, you know, get yourself a smoothie or a fun latte, go to the beach, walk the beach a little bit, just enjoy the company of yourself. And I always wondered, people that don't like spending time with themselves, and fill that void with others is because they truly haven't learned how to love themselves, and therefore they cannot look themselves in the mirror and say, I love myself. I'm so happy. Because those that are so happy, it 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 is the cherry on top to be around others, but it's not a necessity, right? So just ask yourself even that simple question of, do I constantly have to be around others because I need others to fill my cup and make me feel good about myself, validated, whole, secure, happy? Or can I have this same experience by myself, and having someone here is just the cherry on top? It makes it that much better, right? Do you see that difference in perspective? Part of this additional awareness that came to me, and there's a couple, is knowing that you have everything in front of you that you've ever wanted and feel so happy and good inside, that even if something isn't turning out the way that you want it to, based on your timeline, the time and attention you're putting into something, and it's not panning out, right? We tend to have this mentality of, 1 + 1 = 2. And that doesn't always work in the universe the way things pan out. You're putting in the work over the course of time should equal these results. And yes, that's true, but the unknown variable is when that equation will pop and give you that result. So you have to become unattached to the outcome that you're looking for and solely put the work in over time, consistently, with the utmost, greatest, and highest intention, and let go of the outcome. And this leads into my big announcement that I've been holding off from sharing, and it feels so weird to hold secrets. And this is like a big secret, you guys. I mean, I've just been like itching to share because it's big. It's part of my everyday life now. Literally part of my everyday life. And one of my girlfriends, goes back to having your community, shared with me to still have gratitude even though you didn't get the results you want. And every month I would get this result and I'd be like, oh my God, again? Like, seriously? And she helped me have this mindset shift. Still have gratitude. There is gratitude in the result, even if it wasn't the result you wanted. And that shifted everything for me. 4 months later, we got the result we wanted. And you guys, I am so excited to share. Our family is growing and we are pregnant and due for our second baby this December. Actually, a Christmas baby. Our due date is literally December 25th, you guys. Like, we're just so happy, and I couldn't wait to share with you. So we don't know what we're having yet. We actually find out this weekend. So by the time this episode airs, we will know. And you'll have to check into my social media, Elevate with Eleana on social to see if it's a girl or a boy. Intuitively, I think we're having a girl. I've been really, really sensing a lot of femininity and softness. So we will get that confirmation amongst our closest family and friends this weekend at our gender reveal. And it's going to be so fun. We have a couple of fun games planned. We're going to pop the balloon and find out. We're going to have pink and blue drinks. It's going to be really, really sweet and so wonderful to see many of our couple friends that we haven't seen in a long time because life gets busy. And so me loving bringing people together and hosting events, I figured what better way than to bring all of our favorite people together who we haven't seen in a long time and make the most out of that time together, catching up and celebrating and finding out what our next baby will be. So that is our big announcement. And with that comes a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm pregnant now and we're having another baby. We have a business. I have almost a 2-year-old. We have a lot going on. And, I feel like my senses have become really heightened, as any woman, does when she's pregnant and has these nudges of intuition, especially in her first trimester, which we're still in that period of time. And I've noticed so many awarenesses, and it's unbelievable. And I wanted to share one that's really powerful with you that really just stopped me in my tracks, because this is part of, my conditioning that I got to see from that outside in perspective. And I love to share it with you to help you in potentially helping decondition some of those patterns within yourself. And so, whether you're pregnant or not, whether you get your period on a monthly or not because you're on birth control, whatever the case is, as women, we tend to be irritable sometimes, right? Whatever the time of month is, or whatever's happening in your life that's, causing those stressors to go up. But what I noticed lately was that when my irritability rises, it is and this feeling, you have to get to what is the emotion. And for me, I noticed resentment building up. And I said to myself, okay, why am I feeling this way? I'm feeling this way. And again, you are the mirror. There's nothing outside of you. It's not a who or what, it's you. So my ability is rising up. I'm sensing resentment. It's making me feel to go quiet and a little silent. And I tend to go in overdrive and just kind of get like everything done and ask nobody for help. Is that you? I hope I'm not the only one that goes into that mode. And I stopped myself and I said, this is not how I want to continue this cycle. This is a cycle I'm actually working on breaking. And I asked myself, the resentment is rising because I'm not speaking my truth. I'm choosing to be silent. I'm actually silencing myself because I'm letting the resentment take over, and now I'm inherently coming from this place of, you must do something in order for me to be better and okay. That's the energy I'm giving off without saying anything. And so just that awareness alone really helped me deconstruct that. And I went in and was able to speak my truth the next morning and get over all of that, right? And roll out all of those kinks and clear out all of that confusion and cloudiness and clear that energy is really what I'm trying to say. And the next one was, you then have guilt. You feel guilty for responding that way or choosing that pattern. And guilt comes from not owning your truth. And so by owning your truth, you become guilt-free, shame-free. You liberate yourself. You free yourself. And one of the reminders that kept coming up for me, and this started coming up for me when I was a teenager, actually, and going into my young adulthood, and it was that the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And you don't share things, to receive a certain response from other people. You share things to liberate yourself and to you have a knot within yourself. You need to unknot yourself and share that, right? So those are two really big things that came up for me. And again, I love being able to share these reflections here on this platform, because I know we're all into this space, but especially now that I'm pregnant, I knew from my first time I work with a doula. And if you've been listening to the show, I have an episode with her and you can go back and hear, going from maiden to motherhood. And what I learned from that time was how the energy within a woman who is pregnant transcends from the first trimester to the second and the third, and even the fourth, which is the first 40 days after the baby is born in your postpartum period. So now for my second time around, having that in mind already, these awarenesses are so much more heightened. And what I'm looking forward to the most is taking the time this second time around to really listen to my body and give myself what I need. Allow myself to take that nap, go for a walk, have more fun, and and obviously I treat my body really well, especially now that I'm pregnant, and juicing. Like, I started juicing right away. I couldn't wait to start juicing. And I thought to myself, why didn't I do this before? Why only now when I'm pregnant? Because I'm thinking of, my baby and, wanting them to have the best foundation of life, right? But even so, we still need to give that to ourselves. Even if we're not creating life, because we are the life itself. We are breathing. We must continue to give ourselves that foundation. So many amazing takeaways. I am looking forward to allowing my capacity to expand each and every day as my baby grows within and my son grows, outside of me. He requires more or less of me depending on the day, and as he grows in his unique ways, that changes. But I'm so looking forward to this transition, becoming a mama of 2 and a family of 4. And then we have our 2 sons that live out of state. The last takeaway I want to share as a reminder and a reflection, when I talked about every month we were disappointed by not receiving the result that we wanted, that was because every month I received my period. And for the first time in my life, I was actually pretty disappointed. Again, like we're doing our part. 1 + 2. And for us to be doing our part of the bargain and not get the result we wanted, it was a little disappointing. And so that's where that vulnerability comes in, and really relying on your community and those that you can entrust that are going to give you the right advice and the direction that you want to go in, which is so critical to your mindset and to your growth. And because I had that girlfriend share with me, there's still so much gratitude in receiving your period and what it's doing for you that I completely detached from the outcome. And it's also been really helpful to apply that in other areas. So when we receive the news, and maybe we'll do a his and her episode to really share that story and see how it is my husband's preparing now to be a 4th time dad. Oh my God, this is his 4th child. And by then we'll know the gender. I'm like 85%. No, I'm like 90% it's a girl, but again, validation will come over the weekend. And sharing all those things with you guys. So I love and appreciate you so much. Again, if you've been receiving the same amount of value as I've been from this platform, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on how this show has been adding value to your life, some of the unique takeaways you've had, or what are the favorite episodes you had. And I'm really just sharing that because that's how more people are able to find us and determine if they want to tune in and listen. So you guys, I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week.